Da, 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 da. Like, oh my goodness.
Oh no. I'm gonna switch. Well, I'm kind of talking through my computer and my screen,
Okay.
so my phone, and I'm gonna try to do it the other way since you're
Okay.
doing video, so that's cool. All right, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
Oh,
cool.
hi.
Okay. All right, so I'm Lloyd, and I'm in,
You.
nice to meet you too.
You're in
And
Lisa's
I'm in,
class, right?
Dr. Lisa, yeah, in her class. And I just was going to ask you a few questions for the research collaborative. It may take as long as you would like, as long as you answer the questions. It's quite a few, but it's like different sections, so I'm gonna read a few from some. So I'll
Okay.
kind of be clicking back and forth.
Okay.
But thank you so much. Like, I appreciate you doing this.
You're welcome.
So here we go. So my first question for you is, tell me a bit about your job. Like, what do you do, like, in your role for your organization?
Okay, so I work at Cincinnati Children's, and probably related to your class, I'm the co-director of our CCTST Community Engagement Corps. What that is we have a award from the NIH to try to get research from the discovery to the community, and from the community back to discovery as quickly as possible. And so we, myself and a few other folks, run the community engagement part. So we're trying to um, facilitate research from the community setting the priorities, setting the agenda, saying this is what we're interested in, this is the problem we want researched, and this is how we want information back to us. So we're trying to facilitate that, and we sort of do matchmaking between academic folks and community folks to work on health-related projects as well.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I love that part of my job.
Yeah. So since you connect the community and academia, it's a type of collaboration. Um, what are some of your expectations in attending the convening about collaborative change research?
Okay. So what are some of our expectations? So
Mhm.
we expect the academic health center folks to somewhat be aware of what community engaged research is.
Mhm.
So we encourage them to take the course that you're taking, or one of the courses that
Mhm.
Dr. Vaughn is teaching. We encourage them to do research or have a mentor, or there's other training opportunities online so that they're aware of what it's like to work with a community partner.
Mhm.
For our community partners, we expect that they also receive some training or coaching related to working with an academic partner. And we provide some of that for them if we can. So we try to make sure both sides are prepared to sort of work together. And
Mhm.
our expectation, I think, is that I guess they will try to work together, and if they have difficulties, they will contact us, and we can help be those liaisons for them.
Oh, cool.
Is that helpful? Is that the kind
Yeah.
of expectations you mean? Okay.
Mhm. Yeah. That's pretty cool. Okay, my next question is, um, so I think you already touched on this, but I guess one of the questions is, what role does your organization play in the community you serve?
Okay. So I think we play a facilitation role. That's probably the biggest way to say it.
Okay.
Facilitating that research, supporting the research. We may give them students to help them carry out their research, or hook them up with people to help them with their evaluation. So we do a lot of facilitation for the community. I was trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, we also give grants. We give,
Oh, okay. That's a
and we
good.
do, yeah, that's important. And
Uh,
we do training as well. So we have a Community Leaders Institute and some other training opportunities. So
Oh,
I would say
nice.
facilitation, consultation, training, and funds.
Funding. Nice. Okay. Let's see. Um, okay, so I'm gonna kind of ask you questions now about like philosophy and framework. Um, in regards to collaborative change research. What strengths does your organization have in reference to its overall mission?
Okay, so I think our strengths are in relationships with our community partners.
Mhm.
Another strength is in just, I think, relationships within the academic institution. So I think we have some trust on both sides, which is helpful.
Mhm.
Let's see. I'm trying to think what other what other strengths. I think our strengths are also in. I think we stay very vision focused,
Mhm.
and I think that's a strength. So having that shared vision and shared mission across, I think that is a strength. I'm trying to think of some of the places I've seen people fail. Maybe that helps me come up with a strength.
Okay.
I think transparency is our other strength. Like it's really important to have that transparent communication when you're working in the community, and we try to be very clear about what we're doing, and then probably roles, like clarity of
Mhm.
roles and expectations, so people know
Mhm.
that they don't come to us for certain things where we don't do that, but we
Mhm.
do other things. They know like when to come to us and when not to. So I think those five things are some strengths that we have.
Okay. That's pretty cool. That's good that you know their strengths. I think sometimes people don't know their strengths for real. My next question is, what are your thoughts on the most efficient way to make substantial changes in a given community?
So what are the most so I think the biggest thing is to tap into existing resources and strengths, right, of that
Mhm.
community. And I think
Mhm.
so many times people forget that step and they want to come in and bring something new instead of
Mhm.
taking what's there or finding out if there's something there that they can build on or collaborate with. I
Mhm.
think we're good. That makes long lasting change. I think the
Mhm.
other thing that creates change is if you get people in the community involved from the beginning
Oh,
and,
okay.
sort of
Yeah.
saying, this is something that's important to our community that we want, that we will participate in, and then giving them some leadership in the process and ownership.
That's that's good. So it really sounds like you guys are like really community driven. What do you think about the status quo of your organization?
So I think our community engagement core, I think we're doing a pretty good job. I think the overall institution has some growing to do.
Mhm.
You know, so I feel like we're leaning in. We're trying. We're
Mhm.
making an opportunity. Are we perfect? No, we stumble just like every other organization. But I
Mhm.
do think we're trying to. I think the status quo is I think we're trying to fight against the status quo, saying
Mm.
that the academic health center um, should be in charge of all research.
Oh,
We're going against
okay.
that status quo. But I think but I think the status quo of the community engagement core is more like the community is an equal partner and should be involved, and we should
Yeah.
involve the community as much as possible. And it's hard for us sometimes when we're in an academic institution and that's not the thinking.
Right.
Um, so we have to sort of fight to bring the voice forward. And again, we're not perfect. There's probably lots of opportunities where community members could be more involved, but we're trying at least.
Right.
So I don't know if that
Dang,
answers
that's
the
good.
question, hopefully.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's good. um, okay, so this one I think is an interesting question. Can you describe an event such as a meeting or anything in your organization where you did not disclose your true feelings? And how could you have reacted differently in that setting?
So that's a great question. So I think that Sometimes in the academic health center, we are in meetings where we feel like the voice of the community is not present or being thought about. So, just to give you an example, so we're in the process of redesigning our website. And when I asked, like, are we redesigning it? So it's a website in the
Mhm.
internal. Like, I'm
Mhm.
thinking, oh, so we would want to get community input on what they would want to see on the website and how they would want to access information. But then I
Right.
was told that that wasn't the case, that we wanted to serve our internal customers.
Um.
And so then I was a little disappointed, to
Mhm.
say the least. And I probably did just not say much
Mhm.
because I kind of feel like uh, as it happens, as it evolves, there will be an opportunity again to bring that up. I think that the
Hmm.
people were so in their focus area they couldn't really hear it. So
Mm.
I think that it would have fallen on deaf ears. But, I think so now I'm waiting for the right time strategically to be able to say
Mhm.
something again, so it will be more impactful.
Oh wow, that's good.
Okay. I was going to say, I don't know if that answers completely the
No, it
question.
did.
So
Yeah.
what would I have done
I.
different? I'm not sure. I don't know if I would have done anything different because I think that was part of your question, or
Mhm.
maybe just um, tried to say it a different way. I don't
Yeah. Thank you.
know.
Sorry.
You're
Sorry.
popular.
Yeah. um, does your organization view change as starting from within communities or is generated from higher up and handed down to communities?
Yeah, I think within, right? That's what we
Mhm.
want. Uh,
Yeah.
the academic health center traditionally has done the other way, right? That's
Mhm.
it. We decide and pass it down to the community.
Yeah. Okay. I figured that because of your other answers. I was like, I already know that answer. um. Okay. So, what processes are in place to evaluate and prioritize feedback or ideas generated by others in the organization?
Okay, so we have some ongoing meetings, both with our community partners and with our community faculty.
Mhm.
And so those ongoing meetings provide a forum for feedback,
Okay.
and for shaping sort of what we do as a core. So the other thing is we do a survey about our community engagement and how we're doing. So
Hmm.
we've done that. We do that both internally with our internal customers. So the academic health center, we did a overall survey and there were what do you call it, like items about community engagement on it. And then we try to do a survey with our community partners as well once a year to try to get some feedback about how we're doing.
Hmm. Has it been effective?
Um, I mean, I think so. I think that we've been able to take a community part and I think we've been more effective at addressing the community part than the academic part.
Okay.
The academic part, I think we're starting to address, but what we're finding is a lot of people want to be involved in the community and community research, but they don't always know how. And so a colleague of ours started some discussion groups, which I think were a great idea as a first step, but we need to continue those and figure out just how to address that.
Okay. Hmm. Okay, so now I'm gonna transition from that to some technical questions.
Okay.
Um, so I guess you kind of answered this in your other question about the meeting and the website, but this one says change is hard, the status quo is much easier. How do you decide a particular change is worth fighting for
Mm.
or working for?
Yeah. So I think it's a great question, and I mean, we're just very strategic about which thing we're going after and why. And
Mhm.
sometimes it's the one that we feel like we can get the most synergy around from
Mm.
the group. Um, Sometimes it's one that's the most persistent.
Mhm.
And sometimes we're going for small successes to build big successes. So it just kind of
Mm.
depends.
Hmm. I hear it so it's like strategy. You gotta like
You
play the
have to
was
be
it
very strategic.
yeah. So we're gonna target this, then we'll get
Right.
this.
Yeah, right, exactly. And sometimes it's like start small and then
Mhm.
get bigger, and sometimes you're more like, no, this we have never, you know, dealt with this issue. We finally got to deal with it. Or other times you're like, hey, this is going on. This is an opportunity for us
Right.
to address this issue. So it just kind of depends.
That's cool. Wow, the strategy. I feel like that's like a life thing. Like strategize.
Really is. I'm telling you, if I had known what I know now, like 10 years ago, boy, I'd be in
She
a
could have
totally
changed the
different
world.
place.
I know. It's like she could have changed the
I
world
could
a
have
long
changed the
time.
world a lot more. Yeah.
um. So my other question is, people often say, or maybe don't say, what they think their employer, friend, spouse wants or doesn't want to hear, rather than the brutal truth. What do you do to ensure people are able to speak up, or is it even a concern in your organization?
I use questions.
Mm.
So sometimes I just ask a question, and the question makes the person think, and then
Mhm.
that will bring up the issue, and then I kind of go from there. So is it helpful to have an example or no?
If you would like.
Okay. Well, you have to report on this, so I'm just making sure. I
Sure, as
still
much
need
as
to.
you want to say.
Okay. So, okay, so there was an example where I was worried that we were treating someone differently in the organization. And so I just said, well, have we talked to HR about this? Have we thought this through? Because I would hate for us to be perceived as treating this person differently. And then everybody was like, oh, yeah, like, oh, But
Mhm.
I think if I hadn't said it that way, it would have been like accusatory or whatever. But I just asked the
Mhm.
question, like, have we done this? Have we, thought that we would not want this perception to be there? And then
Mhm.
everyone kind of got on board.
Mm. That's good.
Yeah, sometimes you got to ask it as a question. You can't
Right.
just make a
It's like,
statement.
right. Because I'm like, what? Why would you think I did?
Right. Like, I think we're not treating this person right and whatever, whatever. But
Mhm.
instead of saying that, it's just like, hey, have we taken a step back? Have we thought about this? We don't want this perception to be there. What do we need to do? Things like
Right.
that. And everybody's like, oh, yeah, yeah.
We haven't. Yeah, we
We
need to.
haven't, right. We haven't done that. We better do that. Yeah.
Right. That's funny. Okay, let's see. If a problem has been identified, how does your organization design and implement a solution? And who is involved?
So I think it depends on the problem.
Okay.
If there is a problem that the community has identified, like our community partners might say, like we think, I don't know, this is not being addressed or this issue is a problem, then I think we try to work with them to come up with a solution and then bring it to, like our academic partners and say, hey, like, here's what the community is saying, here's some ideas they had, how
Mhm.
can we make this work? If it's
Mhm.
a problem that the academic health center has identified with the community, I think we have to, one, do our due diligence to make sure that it's an actual problem.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's a perception issue and not a real problem. And so
Mhm.
we have to work through that. And then if it is a real problem, then I think we have to be sensitive about how we take that to the community.
Mhm.
So taking it in a sensitive way that shows our respect and value for the community, but also can try to get to the actual problem. So hopefully that answered the question. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. Okay.
You're really good at your role.
I'm like trying to stay focused. This is my worst time of the day. It's like my time where I'm sleepy. I don't have any caffeine. I have water, but no caffeine.
Oh, you're doing good. Um, okay, so have there ever been times in your organization that feedback was received, but there was a lack of change after the feedback was given? If so,
Yeah.
please describe what happened. Blah, blah, blah.
Okay. So let me see. I'm trying to think of which example would be best. Okay, so there, I'll just tell you. So the community said, so we said we're not getting as many people to apply for our community leaders institute as we wanted, and the community said, well, the first problem is that the branding on your materials is bad. Like it says the CCTS thing, nobody knows what that means. It looks scary, it looks intimidating. It doesn't really focus on leadership. It's, you tried to be short, but you waited, like it's just too much. And so then we were like, oh, okay. So we tore it apart. We gave up our notion of having something short and just listened to what the community said would be better and what they wanted. And so we're trying it this year to see how it works. So we got rid of the big logo at the top. We added a new, different logo. We focused on leadership. We made the explanation longer. We made the application not exactly a bit longer, but kind of, and we'll see how it works.
That's cool. Okay. I hope you guys get some good response.
Me too. Me too. Me too.
But that's good that you guys took their feedback into consideration.
Their feedback and tried it, right. We're trying to see. Where are you in school? What's your level of?
So I'm in my second year PhD program. I'm actually in communication sciences and disorders.
Okay.
I'm a speech pathologist.
Okay, cool. Okay. I was going to say, maybe you want to come through the CLI, but we can talk about that later.
The next question I want to ask is, who decides if you or others in your organization are meeting expectations, and how is it decided if someone is meeting expectations?
So we have some specific metrics that we're supposed to meet as our community engagement core that we outlined in our grant when we got the funds to have it. And so that's what we're judged against. We're judged against those metrics. And then if we do our survey and the perception, we're judged on that as well. Like, what is the perception of the community and the academic health center towards our core? Like, do people think we've been helpful or not helpful, that type of thing.
Okay. I have some other ones. Are there undiscussable topics within the organization or untouchable processes? If so, how would you recommend that that you proceed with the discovery of knowledge about the issue?
So I think one of our challenging topics, I won't call it untouchable, but challenging topics has been how to integrate the community into our leadership at the top. Like, it's in our section, but above us, like like above my pay grade. And so I think what we've done what we did to address that is in our new proposal, we suggested that a community member would be part of our executive committee, and then on down, so that way it's built in from the time that we get the grant to, and instead of trying to do it now and, who should it be and it's awkward and all that, we just added that up front. And we decided in our new grant, which hopefully should start in a few months, that we would, just have that from the top. And we put money in to pay that position and all of that. So the way we try to go around it is when the new thing comes up or when it's renewed is basically change it then versus trying to change it now.
That's good.
To start off on a new.
Yeah. Right. That's good that you guys are really community driven.
Trying.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you are at least.
We're trying.
That's good. My next question is, can you think of a time when your organization felt really stuck? That is to say, a time when your efforts towards action and change were not making the progress you had hoped for?
Yes. At the beginning of this community engagement core thing when it started, like in 2009, 2010. We had discussions about our community partner council and our community leaders institute, and the academic health center did not understand um, our vision. And so we said, like, we should pay our community leaders because they're having to leave their organization and come and get our training, and that we should give them money to apply what they learned. And so they were like, no, they should pay us for teaching them.
Right.
And we're like, no, they shouldn't. Like, our whole mission is to build this capacity, and so it's our job to like build the capacity. That's our job, so they shouldn't pay us for our job. Like, so it was very interesting. So it was like our what we were talking about was falling on deaf ears, and it took a long time. It took several months for us to work through that, and I think they finally decided. I think we wore them down, and they finally decided, fine, let's just give it a go. And I think they thought it was going to fail. And then it succeeded. And then they were like, oh, okay, we get it now. But in the beginning, they really didn't, they didn't understand.
That's funny. It's always money involved. We should get paid. What?
Right. Yeah, they should pay us. I'm like, no, that's our job. Like,
right.
The whole job is we're supposed to prepare the communities to be good partners in research. That's our job. Like, why are they gonna pay us to do that?
Right. Like, what? No. That is funny. I know y'all probably were like,
They're like, look at each other like.
And then you probably hear your face probably like said like something else like.
I was like, I had to let my colleague take that one. I was like, I can't even respond. I don't know how to respond.
Like, okay, did I read something wrong?
Right. Did I hear that correctly? All right.
That's funny. Let's see. My next question is, what do you do personally that contributes to your organization's ability to assess, react, and affect change when needed?
Okay, what do I do personally? So I think I just go out of my way to build relationships with community partners to try to hopefully build the bridges so that we can affect change later on in the future. I think sometimes I also show my face or volunteer in the community, like be present as much as possible so that they know that, so they can try to build that trust.
That's good. A good rapport.
I wish I could do more, but limited time,
Yeah. What do you see others do that creates an environment that is friendly to change?
So I think, environments that are friendly to change are respectful, and that respect can be from like inviting a community partner to something, showing them that they value and respect them, like including them. Like I feel like Melinda Butch Kovacic really always invites her community partners to things, to participate, to be on a panel, to give their opinion, to co-present with her, and that's the kind of thing that I think, you need to do. I think Monica does the same thing. Like if they're having a dinner somewhere, she's going to be like, oh, is there a community partner or vendor or somebody that we need to invite or, recognize or participate. So I think they invite them to do things. They recognize their efforts through awards or other things, like things that really show that they value, and then that sets the foundation for what you can build change off of.
Oh, that's good. So I know you were telling me about, you had mentioned the way you guys do evaluations, like is that how your data is collected? Like who collects?
So our data is collected in a few different ways. Some of it is through, some of our data is more like number of people we have consulted with or affected and reached. And then some of our data is more like survey data. It might be collected electronically, that type of thing. Some of it is more like stories, like success stories, qualitative data that may be collected one-on-one or on the phone or through an email. It just depends on how people tell the story.
Yeah.
And then I think we do some quantitative, more like from the surveys, like straight survey data. So the survey data is mixed. It might be quantitative and qualitative, but then some is just quantitative, like ratings.
That's good. What are top 3 challenges when evaluating needs and implementing new initiatives across disciplines?
Top 3 challenges. Okay. First challenge is, I mean, I think we do have some challenge in that we don't have the best measures in the field of community engagement, and so that's a challenge. Another challenge to assessing needs, I'm trying to think, like, probably be, always response, right? You can't reach everybody. You try, but you can't. So you just worry that you're not getting all voices. And then the third challenge, I think, is that the work is so relationship based and so like value based that it's harder to demonstrate impact.
Yeah.
So I think that's a challenge overall in the field.
Okay. And then I think this is my last question for you. Do you have a process in place to evaluate the sustainability of completed projects or initiatives?
For some. I would say for some we do and some we don't. So some things that we are able to look at impact over time. So our community health grants, I think we do a better job of following up to say, did you get any grant funding from, whatever. But with our other projects, I don't think we do a great job of looking at sustainability. We may not follow up a year or 2 years later with our consultations, or we may not follow up. Some we do, and some we don't. Some, with our community leaders, we don't always follow up to see where they went and if the training is still having some impact on them. So I think we do probably a okay job, but we have a lot of room for growth there. And I think that's what we're trying to focus on in our new grant is really looking at these. We're trying to organize differently so that we can build in that those measures of sustainability, so that that's constantly feeding back into it.
That's good. Do you have any questions for me?
It's more about, like, it sounds like you're very interested in the community, and you said you're in your second year of a PhD program. 2 more years, or?
Yeah, 2 more.
And then you'll do, like, I'm assuming you'll do, like, an internship or some type of residency or something.
Well, I've kind of already done that part.
Okay.
Because I'm already a licensed speech pathologist.
Oh, cool.
So it's just, I have a lot of community interests. You know how people ask you that question, like, what do you want to do after? And I really do want to do a lot of community outreach with the connection between that and speech, because I feel like a lot of kids are not receiving services that they should, and the services that are free that they get in the school, they're at a disadvantage because of how it's structured and the time allotted, and like with the school day curriculum, it's just a lot. So and I've worked in Title I schools, so I've kind of just seen and actually like doing the work and the grunt work. We spend so much time on paperwork that we sometimes miss the kids. And I know, like, I used to get behind on paperwork because I was so involved with my kids, like, because I knew, like, they're probably not going to go to private therapy, or have the accessibility to get to a private therapist or anything like that. So that's kind of like, when you talk about community, I was like, oh my gosh, she's so, and I don't know exactly what I want to do in terms of like partnering, but the clinic that I worked for after school therapy, they're kind of just they kind of will support. I know I have a support system, and they'll help with that. So learning about this has been pretty interesting, and like how our profession can connect with our communities, you know,
Yeah.
and just to know that there is that other outside, because I think we get so stuck on the quantitative research to make a change, and like
Mhm.
the disconnect gets lost between the research side and that practitioner piece, because by
Yes.
the time it gets to us, it's late, and then being person like in the forefront of it all, it's like we don't have time to do this new research here. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Right.
kind of like trying to understand like both brains and both challenges. And so even like training SLPs in different ways of like the new research or whatever. I mean, but again, it's just time for people. Time is like money. Like, so, you know, some can't get, you know, it's very valuable. So
Right.
just, but yeah, I do want to do a lot of community, and I've always said that, and you know, teach too a little bit. Not, I don't want to right now. I'm just like, let me be adjunct or like something on the side, but I really do want to do some kind of community involvement. Yeah.
Okay. Because I was wondering, we have students sometimes will audit our Community Leaders Institute, and they'll come through the training and get the training, but they don't have to do a
Mhm.
project. So you would be great for
Oh.
that if you're available, but it may not work out for you. So if you
Yeah.
don't mind, I'll send you the application.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And then you can see if you think it might be a good
Okay.
fit for your schedule.
Yeah.
If you
Thank
want to,
you.
you can apply. I think you would be awesome. We haven't had
Thank you.
anybody from speech pathology. I would love to expand.
Yeah.
So it would be great to have you. But we have a lot of fellows and a lot of grad students who come through. So
Oh, okay. That's cool.
you
Yes,
can
it
just learn
definitely
more
is
about
to
the
me.
community, and some of the
Yeah.
agencies and the work they're doing. So
Yeah,
it'll be
that would
great.
be awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you, Dr. Crosby. I know you're busy.
You're welcome. Yeah, tell
I,
Dr. Bond I said hello.
I'll tell her. I appreciate you so much.
All right, no problem. Take care.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye-bye.